Hello my fellow working class heroes, good day. I am Carlo and welcome to Carlo Excels. These are the objectives of this episode. Today we're gonna learn how to achieve auto-alphabetical arrangement with the use of formulas and functions in earlier versions of Microsoft Excel. Right now we're here at my Excel screen. If we want to arrange this alphabetically, that's not hard to do. What we have to do, just like what we learned in our previous lessons, we control A on that table there and then press data on the ribbon, and then we just click one of the sort buttons. We click A to Z, we're automatically able to sort that A to Z. And then if we want to sort by male or female, we're easily able to sort it that way. However, there are cases wherein we want to be able to arrange student names alphabetically, but we don't want to have to press press any button or sort manually. We want to be able to create a formula that in a way that when we paste or when we type in the name of a student, it arranges automatically, alphabetically in another table, in this case over here. For those who have the latest versions of Microsoft Excel, we already have a function for that, which is the sort function. However, just like what I mentioned before, most teachers here in the Philippines do not have the latest versions of Microsoft Excel. So what I'm about to teach you is a way to arrange student names alphabetically with the use of formulas and functions, which works with earlier versions of Microsoft Excel. For this lesson, we're going to use these functions which have already been discussed in previous lessons. So we're going to use the COUNTIF function from lesson 18, the IF function from lesson 31, the OR and AND function from lesson 34, the IFERROR function from lesson 36, the rank function from lesson 37, unique ranking from lesson 40, and the VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP functions from lesson 41. If you already know how to do these, no problem. But if you don't know how to do these yet, please check down to on the descriptions down below. We have links there to the lessons for these particular functions. I suggest you watch them first before you proceed with this video. The idea is actually rather simple. All we have to do is to create a formula that will rank these values, and using the ranking, that is what we're going to use as a basis for using the VLOOKUP function later on. Believe it or not, when you do alphabetical arrangement for text data, what you use is actually not the rank function. Instead, you use the COUNTIF function. So this is how our formula is going to work. First, we start with the IF function. We start with the IF function because we want to ask Microsoft Excel first, is there actually a name in this space here? Is there actually a student here? So if that is blank, if this space here is blank, then we want to put in here a text blank like so. Now, if there is something written there, we can proceed with the formula. What the formula for alphabetical arrangement with the COUNTIF function looks like is this. COUNTIF, and then this is going to be the range. I'm going to highlight all of that over here. And then, let's proceed to the criteria. And the criteria part looks like this. First, open quotation mark, less than or equal to, close quotation mark, ampersand, and then cell B2. So that is how the formula looks like. And then close the parenthesis for the COUNTIF function, and then once again close the parenthesis for the IF function, and then press enter. So that means this student, Fosse Emma Indy, is the 58th as far as ranking is concerned, as far as alphabetical ranking is concerned. I'm gonna copy that now. Oops, first we have to place absolute reference in this part. I forgot. So that's how the formula looks like, and then press enter. Now we can copy that and paste that all the way down here. And what we now have is alphabetical ranking for the text data right here. In fact, just as a proof of concept, if I am to arrange the students alphabetically, you have the correct alphabetical ranking for them. So some of you may be thinking, these are the numbers that we're going to use for the VLOOKUP function. But actually, I would suggest that you have a separate column for the row numbers. The reason for that is, it may be possible that you will have duplicate names. If you have duplicate names, at least those duplicate names will not appear as errors on your resulting table. Now, this is what we're gonna do. So if, first we start with an if, first we check, is this a blank? Because remember, we already assigned this to be a blank if there is no student. So we'll ask this to check, is this a blank? If that is a blank, then the row number here will also appear as a blank. If it is not a blank, then we perform ranking. So rank this number here with this, all of this as a reference, like so. And then remember, this is supposed to be in ascending order, because lower numbers means first alphabetically and higher numbers means last alphabetically. So ascending order, like so. And once again, this should be absolute references. So remember, this is supposed to be a unique ranking because we're going to do this for the VLOOKUP function. So unique ranking. So we add in the correction factor, just like what you discussed before. So plus COUNTIF, like so. This is the range, and this is the criteria, -1. And just like what we discussed in a previous lesson, only this should be the absolute reference. Close the if function like this and press enter. Now that we have this formula here, copy that, paste that all the way down here, and we now have our unique ranking for our students. And using that, all we have to do is perform VLOOKUP in this part. So first, we start with VLOOKUP, and then we'll VLOOKUP this value. This is going to be our table array over here. And then we use column index number 2 because the name of the student is on the second column. And then exact match, like so. This should be absolute reference. Over here, this should be absolute reference. And then press enter. So we have here, first student alphabetically is already Abby. Copy that, paste that all the way down here, and you have now your list of students arranged alphabetically. So if you scroll down over here, you will notice, oh, there are errors. Why are there errors? Well, there are errors because you only have 180 names in this list, but there are spaces enough for 200. So we want there to be a blank here if in case there are not enough students on your prepared spaces or list. So to do that, we're gonna use the IFERROR function for this. IFERROR, this VLOOKUP formula. And if that VLOOKUP formula turns out to be an error, then we have a text blank, like so. Press enter, copy that, paste that all the way down here. And then we have our list of arranged students, formula-based. And then, at the bottom, if there are no more names to arrange, you simply have a blank. So this next part is a common scenario for teachers here in the Philippines. In some cases, we don't want to just arrange students alphabetically. We also want to arrange them by sex. In most cases, we want to arrange them males first, arranged alphabetically, and then females next, arranged alphabetically as well. So how do we achieve that? So if you're wondering about how to achieve that, what we're essentially going to do is we're going to perform the same steps as we did a while ago, except in this case, we're going to add weights. We're going to add weights to the sexes so that the sexes will have different weights and therefore they're going to be ranked differently. So let's do the formula. First, we want to put in here an if function, right? We want to put in here an if function because we want to ask Microsoft Excel, is this space here blank? Or is this space here blank? So naturally, if there is no student, then we cannot rank them. If there is no sex indicated, then we cannot rank them too. So we're gonna use an OR function for this. OR, is this space blank? 0, or is this space blank? If either of those spaces are blank, then we simply want a text blank for this space here. But if it is not blank, meaning if there is something in both spaces, then we can proceed with the formula. And for the next part of the formula, again, we repeat the process that we did a while ago. So what we did is COUNTIF, and then we're going to arrange the names of the students here. So we're gonna highlight these spaces here. And then we're going to put in here our absolute references like so. So the criteria is going to look like this. Again, quotation mark, and then lesser than or equal to, close the quotation mark like so, and then ampersand, and then this space right here and then close the COUNTIF. So we do not end it at this, right? So we then put here plus, and then we put in here another if function, if. All right. So if. Now we want to check. We want Microsoft Excel to check what the sex of the student is. If this cell says female, like so, if this sex is female, then we want to add to the number that we're going to get. We want to add 1,000. Otherwise, we do not want to add anything, so we just have 0. Close the parentheses and then press enter. What's going to happen actually is, if the student is female, their alphabetical ranking goes way up. It becomes 1058 in this case. So if we copy that and paste that downwards, you will see that females have a very high alphabetical ranking, but males have a very low alphabetical ranking. So that is what we're going to, that is a trick that we can use for ranking later on. So we're gonna copy that, paste that all the way down here, and we have here our weighted alphabetical ranking. So we're going to perform the same steps that we did a while ago. We're going to use unique ranking for this column here. So we first have to start with the if function. If this is already a text blank, then this cell should also be a text blank, like so. And then we perform a unique ranking. So rank this. This is the number. This is the reference, like so. And then once again, we put here it in ascending order, plus the unique ranking correction factor, count if. This is the range. And this is the criteria as well, -1, like so. So once again, this should be an absolute reference, this one too, and only the first part should be an absolute reference as far as the COUNTIF function is concerned. And then press enter. So when we press enter, over here, copy that, paste that all the way down here. So you will notice now that females, because they have a higher weighted alphabetical ranking, females are ranked lower than the males. So in essence, what you're essentially doing is you're tricking, because of the way we did the weighted alphabetical ranking, we tricked Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft Excel ranked the females lower. And because they rank the females lower, they will certainly show up later when it comes to the VLOOKUPs later on. So let's do the VLOOKUPs on this side. So just like what we did a while ago, we start with the if error, so that any blanks later on will not show up as an error. So if error, and then we perform the VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP this value, find 1. Whoops, wrong spelling of VLOOKUP. Now find 1. This is the table array over here, and then we want the second column, and then we want exact match, like so. So this is what the formula will look like for VLOOKUP. So this should be an absolute reference, so we can copy paste that downward later. And then we once again, if this is an error, then this should be text blank, like so. So that is what the formula is going to look like. Press enter. Now we take the same formula and then we copy it here, but this time we change it to third column, like so. Now that the formula looks like this, we copy this, paste it all the way down here, and then you will notice that in this case, because we used weighted alphabetical ranking, and because of the way we set up our the sexes of the students, what happens is now what happens now is males are arranged alphabetically and males go first, and later on females are listed alphabetically, but females are after the males. So this is what it looks like now. In fact, just as a proof of concept, if we have Abby here as a male, where is Abby? Abby. Anyway, if I'm going to take Fossey over here, she's a female. If I change her to male, like this, over here, you will now see Fossey over here.
So in other words, as a proof of concept, this table over here is now a dynamic table, meaning it will change automatically. It will arrange the values on the left alphabetically automatically. So that's it for our lesson on achieving auto-alphabetical arrangement with the use of formulas and functions in earlier versions of Microsoft Excel. I hope I earned your subscription today. Once again, I am Carlo, and this is Carlo Excels. Thank you very much for watching.